We just got back from our adventure of Rise of the Resistance. Let's talk about it. Hey there, this is Tom's Tech Show, and today we're going to be talking about our trip down to Disneyland and how we got on Rise of Resistance and what that whole adventure was. So we started out. We knew we needed to be there in the park at 8 o'clock. So the goal is to get down to Disneyland. It's about an hour and a half from the house. Get there, get in the parking structure, get parked, get on the tram, get over to the gates, and get inside the park. So we did that. We got there at about 6 o'clock, and of course the parking garages are closed. They don't open until 6:30, so they were redirecting people to Toy Story. We didn't really want to go to Toy Story. We want to stay at Mickey and Friends Pixar Pal parking structure. So we went and got coffee, and the other people I was with, my wife and one of our friends that we were with, got coffee. I drink tea. So never really got into coffee. I mean, I just never really got into that. So anyway, so they're slaves to it. So we had to go do that. So we get back at 6:30 to the parking structure, and the new never a line area. There's never a line at the Pixar Pals entrance. So I don't know why, but today, or maybe this is now from now on, the Pixar Pals entrance is no longer open. The gates are closed. Nobody's there at all. So we had to drive back all the way around Ball and Street and everywhere back to get into the regular Mickey and Friends entrance. And then once we get through that gate entrance, they still route us back in, and we ended up parking over in the Pixar Pals area. So I don't know what's going on with that. Whether they've just closed that gate because not enough people used it or knew about it. I mean, it was kind of nice because it was no matter what the other line was, you could just go through the Pixar Pals one and just get right into the park or into the parking structure. So we finally get parked. We get there. We get on the tram. We get over to the Disneyland entrance, and of course, the line is all the way across from Disneyland to California Adventure. It's all the way across. So they've opened the gates, and they're slowly feeding people in. I think we got online at 7 o'clock, so by 7:25 or so, we were in the park and had our passes through the gate, which is one of the first key steps to getting your boarding pass to Rise of the Resistance. So now, a few things that will help once you're in the park. If you're at the Mad Dash area of 8 o'clock, and you're trying to do that, get the boarding pass. The first thing, so since we were there at 7:30, we went around and I checked my phone in a couple of different areas to see how many bars I had, to make sure that wherever I was in the park, usually we were in Main Street, about halfway down on the east side, and I had 5 bars, really good signal. I can bring up, and I tested it. I'd bring up the app, go look at it. You can bring it up. You can say, check the status of where you are of the Rise of Resistance. It'll say, there's no boarding groups ready yet because it's before 8 o'clock. So you can't join a boarding group, but you can see how fast the page loads and how it gets, if it's coming up quickly and everything else from where you are, then you're probably in a good area. Also, you need to have all of the people that are going to be in your group, you need to have all of their tickets scanned into your phone. So you head over to the My Tickets, tickets and passes, and you can link all of the passes to your phone and make sure they're all on there for your group. And you can do this with like 4 or 5 people. Like if there's 4 people in your group, you can all try and do this at the same time. So get all your passes on everybody's phone, and they can all try it at the same time. Okay. So whoever wins is going to get the boarding group, and the other ones are just going to say, you're already in a boarding group, so you don't need, so it won't process. So that's fine. The next thing I would recommend doing is if somebody is there that has a clock or watch or something that has a second hand, or you have a phone or a watch or something that has the seconds on it, that's going to really help. Because what you want to do is when you have your phone out and you have the app up, or several, you want to go in And like Android, you hit here the app switcher. Here, there's a little clear all button for me, and it clears all the apps out, so there's no more apps loaded. Okay, so then at about 5 or 6 seconds before 8 o'clock, so that's why you need the second hand on your device, 5 or 6 seconds before, you then open the Disney app, the Disneyland Park app, let the little animation go, and then that gets you into the screen, and the first thing you see is the Find Out More, and after that screen is the Get a Boarding Group. So by the time you do that, 5 seconds before 8, you start loading the app. It takes about 5 seconds to load, and the little animation screen goes away. Then you can hit Find Out More, Get Boarding Group, and the phone and all the information will be refreshed just past 8 o'clock, and you'll be able to get your boarding group. It's not guaranteed, of course, because, however Disney is doing this and processing things. Although today, it went all the way through. I was watching the boarding groups. It went all the way through boarding group 111. We're able to get on and off the ride today. So that means everybody who tried and got a boarding group successfully today, even the ones on the standby groups, actually got to ride the ride. We ended up with group 58, which I thought was pretty good. We ended up getting on the ride at about 2:20. Our number was called at 2:20. We got on the ride shortly after that, and into the queue and everything else shortly after that. So hopefully that'll help you be able to get there. The hilarity was all of the people on Main Street who are there, they all have their phones out. They're all waiting. They're like geared and ready to go, and opening and closing the app and everything else. And then boom, 8 o'clock hits, and everybody's like in their phone going, selecting their boarding group, selecting all the people in that group, and then hitting done to process the boarding group pass. And then at about 8 o'clock and maybe 20 seconds, the entire Main Street starts cheering for the only random reason that all of these people now know they have a boarding pass. They have a boarding group right then. It was very hilarious. It was very organic. Just everybody's like, perfect silence that we're all in this group. We're all doing something. It's perfect silence. Everybody's doing this because they're so concentrating on it. And then boom, 20 seconds later, yay, we're all cheering in the whole thing. It was hilarious. It was just an amazing scene that happened at the park. So then we got our boarding group, and we head. It's called at 2:20. We head down there, and they're shuttling everybody over to one end of the area to get in, and you get in and get in the queue and go down the ride and ride the ride, which was amazing. Yes, there's the problem that we only have Disney Star Wars characters. There's no classic characters, no classic anything in there. It's all new stuff. So if you're going there to see all the original characters and everything like that, you're not going to see any. So that's been a flaw of Galaxy's Edge from day one. I don't know if Disney's ever going to fix that, but this ride it is amazing. I mean, there's so many. You can go on YouTube and find all the different walkthroughs and videos, people taking 4K video of the whole ride and how it is and everything else. But that doesn't quite get you the experience of being on the ride. The different transitions and the different things that you're doing. I mean, all the way up until you get on the little trackless car, all of that is basically pre-show. So getting on the transport to get to the docking bay or the big landing bay area, and then getting put up into some queue lines, and then moved into the prison little interrogation room. Then after that, boom, you finally get into the ride, which is in the car in the queue. So I'm gonna have to ride it again, of course, because you miss so much because you're like trying to take it all in and everything else, and it was just really cool. So if you hang that back up, if you can get there and be able to get your boarding group, of course it's going to get easier. I mean, I would say it's going to get easier, but even people today, like last week from Disney World, are still doing the get there real early to Hollywood Studios, get led into the park at 7 o'clock. They think they do it there at 7 o'clock. The park opens. there, they're still pounding to get, you know, boarding groups to get on the ride. So it is that amazing. It is going to be something that I'm going to have to ride over and over again. I I thought maybe I'd hope and there isn't anything that's too jarring for my back. I had spine fusion surgery, and it's easily able to handle that. So if you have any kind of heavy sore back problems and things like that, you'll probably be okay. Just take it at your own pace. If you have some kind of health problems, the cars do kind of jerk and twist around a little bit as they're moving through everything. But and then you get to the end, and the little drop at the end is just very slight, so it's not not really, it's not like a Tower of Terror or Guardians of the Galaxy kind of free fall drop. It's just a little kind of drop at the end of the ride. If you watch some of the 4K videos, I'm sure you can see that. But yeah, it was just an amazing ride, amazing experience. Keeps you going the whole time, just as you go through the entire thing, from transitioning from one thing to the next and everything else, and how all those things are combined. It was just completely amazing. I did go afterwards, and they're selling these Millennium Falcons. This is if you open this up, you can put popcorn in here. So, or to save, it saves $2 if you go to the Galactic Grill over in Tomorrowland, and you get this with a thing of French fries. It's $24.99 with French fries, and if you want it with popcorn, it's $27.99. I don't know, so we went. It's pretty cool. I think one of my little technical projects I think I'm going to do is I'm going to have it up above me here on some string and wire and stuff, and make a little thing that makes it fly around in circles above my head and stuff that I'll be able to turn on and off and have it. Oh, the back end of it. So there's a little button here in the back, and if you turn that button on, then the engine lights up, and you can see it kind of go back and forth a little bit with the light, and then it turns on and off a little bit, and then you got that. So that was pretty cool. I mean, it was a birthday trip down to the park. So tomorrow was actually my birthday. So we did kind of a pre-birthday thing, just because we have to go and see the chef at the Carnation Cafe is a really good cast member friend of ours, and Chef John that is there makes us an incredible meal every time it's not on the menu. They just go there and we order our hillbilly. For whatever reason, they call us the hillbillies. Our hillbilly breakfast, and boom, it is just amazing food that we have there. Also, I have my Toy Story 1 and my Toy Story 4 Buzz Pez dispensers, and now they have an actual Disney Parks Pez dispenser, so I had to get that to add that to my Buzz Lightyear Pez dispenser thing. So anyway, that's going to kind of conclude this video. If you get a chance to go on Rise of Resistance, hopefully some of those tips about how to use the phone and where you are. I mean, there are places in the park where you can go get in a line to have a cast member help you get a boarding group. But with everybody on their phones, I think only the first person in the line is really going to get a boarding group, because I think they said yesterday, the opening day, that all the boarding groups were gone in 17 minutes. I can't even believe that it took that long, because everyone in the park was doing this. So I can't believe that it took any longer than maybe 2 minutes, because we were walking, after we got our boarding group, we were walking into the park to go on some rides, and some people were getting them. This is like 1 or 2 minutes after. Some people were getting them, and then finally we saw people that weren't. So this is like maybe no more than 3 or 4 minutes, and they're all gone and done. So you really got to be right on it with your phone, and make sure you have the person that has the newest, fastest phone that's doing it, if you're going to have one person do it. Because if you have an old phone, then that's going to kind of be hard. If it's slow and crashy and all that stuff, you don't want to be using that phone to do it. All right. Well, that's my video for today. If you have any other comments about what process I used, how I got on it, what I was doing with my phone, or anything like that, any more extra tips that I might be able to provide or questions, then let me know in the comments and I'll respond to them. And enjoy your day on Rise the Resistance. Thanks for watching. Take care.